everybody. Hello. Hello. Um, Welcome to KRC Bookstore. To at our book fair tonight, the Black Friday edition. Everybody is throwing together and putting together these awesome, amazing deals, so you can come out and shop and get these Christmas presents and get these good deals. So KRC Bookstore is doing our Black Friday edition. And what better way to do a Black Friday edition than talk to some authors, because that's what we are all about. We're all about showcasing our authors, connecting our authors with readers that love their book, that can use their book, that was blessed by their book, and all those wonderful things. So, without any further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce myself and tell you a little bit about KRC Bookstore and get you off to hear from these authors here. We have two amazing authors, and hopefully we have some more that join us a little bit later. But we have two amazing authors with us tonight. My name is Tammy M. Lilly, and I am the owner of KRC Bookstore. Here at KRC Bookstore, we're all about catering to our Black community. We bring in our Black authors to be able to come and tell their story. Not only do we connect with our adult Black community, but we talk to our children Black community. We have books catered to them to be help them see positive Black images about themselves, where it brings about good self images, so they can be able to love that Black skin that the love the beautiful nose they got, no matter what that nose shape is, to love some beautiful lips, to love that luscious, beautiful hair, whether it's short, long, or in between. So, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so super excited about things that are happening with KRC Books. I am a tax professional by trade. I started out being in that field, and after being in that for a while, I wanted to cut myself apart from every, other tax professional. Because of course, anybody that's in business wants to set themselves apart from everybody else. What makes them, who they are? What makes them unique? So I decided to be an author, and after being an author, I wrote a book. Why your refund is so low? This is a book for business owners to help with their foundational stuff for their business. Then I turned around and co-wrote another book, which is Prayers in a Ball Space. And then we did volume one and volume two. And then we did a women empowerment book that I co-authored in. So since I had four books, I had one book that I actually gave away as a marketing tool. What better way to do all this and sell all this to have a bookstore? So I created a bookstore. How can I bless others? Why not have some other Black authors in to be able to help them in their authorship walk? No matter where they're at. I'm all about longevity. We love the fact that they get revenue, but we all about longevity. How are we all about longevity? We make sure that they get those pictures to be able to show their work off, to show who's buying their book, and we make sure that they get the contact information for that particular person that's buying that book, so they can go back to them. They decide they want to have merch. They decide they want to write another book. They decide they want to have a like Black Friday sale. They have somebody to go to. It's a lot easier to keep a customer versus getting a new customer. So we're all about longevity, and so that's the reason why we just put the platform. So talked all about me. Let's get to the meat and potatoes about why we're really here. And before we do that, I want to run a quick commercial to be the show some things that we are a part of, such as the Black Friday event that we do every first and third Friday of each month in the Houston, Texas area, to be able to support other black businesses. So, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and run this and we're gonna talk to one of these ladies.
sure y'all check us out at All Black Everything, the best place to spend your money. Make sure y'all check them out every third Friday, right?
It's always amazing, always great people, great vibes, great vendors, great food. You should be here.
I love it. I have been here at least 8 times. The vibe, the energy here is so good.
Always music. The hosts are always making sure you straight.
Okay. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the meat and potatoes of this particular book fair. We have Miss Francine Houston. Miss Francine Houston. We're going to, whoever better to introduce themselves than themselves. Tell us about yourself, Francine, about your
Well,
book, and what you do to say.
oh, I'm a lupus survivor. Um, but that was my first book, the lupus journey. But I wrote this book called The Self Care Guide. I was dealing with self care issues. So I ended up writing this book a couple of years ago. I'm still doing like a self care series, but I've been an author since 2016. My first book is Lupus Journey. I have a second book called Lupus Life After Lupus, which is a continuation from the first one. I've been writing books for a while. I'm also a poet as well. It's poetry. Well, it's a poem in this book as well. It's a poem. It's poems in Lupus Journey as well. My website is francinehouston.com, and well, as I could say, I have a bachelor's degree in communication design, and I have a associate's in fashion. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome, Miss Francine. Um, I heard you're lupus survivor, and knowing a little bit about that particular abnormality is can be really, really rough, and a lot of times, when you're not feeling so good, you don't look like you're not feeling good, but and a lot of people think that you're supposed to look a certain way in order to, be sick at the moment. And it could be some very painful moments at times, and you can really get sick. And we definitely, you know, love the fact that you are being transparent with what you have to deal with and being to share this with others because there's so many
Mhm.
others that go through these different things and they feel like they're alone. And so this is a self care book
Mhm.
to so when you're feeling a certain way or before you feel that way, you can take care of yourself. What are you expressing to your audience, babe?
Um, I started looking at just basic stuff about self care, like physical self care, exercise, getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, mental self care, meditation. I even did psychological self care. Well, that is mental self care. uh, like activities to keep your mind going. Sometimes people do puzzles, and even social self care, like being around people that you care about, that can help you with self care as well. Um, I have a chapter about spiritual self care. I mean, some people don't think prayer, and uh, being connected to God, that helps as well. And emotional self care. Um, I ended up taking emotional classes to make sure that I can manage my emotions properly. Like I had to do anger management. I had to learn how to do stress and anxiety. I even did emotional intelligence. That helped me with self care as well. Um,
That's beautiful.
and then sometimes even environment self care. Sometimes like even cleaning your house up, that can help you with self care. You can think properly. And I also some people don't think finances is self care, but sometimes if you don't have to worry about money all the time and your money is okay, that kind of helps you with your self care. So I added that as well. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. I love the transparency. Beautiful, beautiful book. Um, are you tapping into the audience that have people around them, or especially with children that are dealing with this different abnormality? That's gonna be really hard for the parent to see their child going
Mhm.
through that. So definitely, I believe that this will be a good book, no matter what side of the spectrum you're at, whether you're dealing with it or you're having a loved one that's very close dealing with
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
So um, with writing this book, a lot of times we're writing books because we're talking to the audience. And we're wanting the audience to feel some kind of way, trying to, express how we're feeling. So, how the audience don't feel alone. In the midst of writing this book, how did it change you?
I was actually asked to do a self-care panel. That's where it all started. Like 2 years ago, I was asked to do a self-care panel at the end of September of 2019. And that's when they told me like months ahead. So in between that, I started writing a guide for it. Cause I was like, well, even though when I went up there and they asked me questions, it kind of helped me with answering the questions, but I felt like I wanted to be like overly prepared. Like everybody else was like, well, this is self care to me. This self care to me. Like everybody had a different definition what self care was to them. But I thought about it. I was like, well, maybe this book can help me because like I said, I struggled with this really bad. I used to just be like a workaholic and just work myself to the bones, and I had to learn to actually to have breaks in between there. Like you can't work like all day without taking breaks or stuff like that. You gotta it was just little simple stuff that I wasn't doing. So this book helped me in that way. And then the more I did like pop-up shops and I started noticing the people I was targeting was more lupus warriors, but I was getting just regular everyday people like, well, hey, I kind of struggle with this too. Let me get your book. So it kind of went around for a lot of for more people than I thought it would.
That is amazing. That you was able to, um, help these people out in the midst of what they're doing. Um, Before we go we move on to the next young lady, what I would like to do is to tell people how they are to get in touch with you, how they are to get your book,
You can
and
get it
even
on Amazon.
how you.
Oh, oh, they can
I'm
go
sorry,
on
go ahead.
Amazon or they can go to francinehouston.com to get the book. Either Amazon or and you can look up Francine Houston or you can go to www.francinehouston.com to get the book.
Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, are you open to other speaking engagements?
Oh, you sure? Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. That's beautiful. I mean, a lot of times, that's one of those stages of being an author is to become a speaker because it definitely, gets the information out there and it allows people to get, more personal, um, um, to deal with you on a more personal level. And a lot of times it helps with, book sales. People be able to, understand you and what got you to that place and be resonate with what you did, what you're doing. So definitely, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us because a lot of times, we don't want to share these things with everybody else because not we don't think people will understand where we're coming from. And thank you so much for sharing because I know just the mere fact of you talking on this platform, it's going to bless somebody because, there's quite a few people that's dealing with that, a malady of the body, that autoimmune, the body attacking itself. So thank you so much.
Welcome.
So, um, what I would like to do is we have two ladies that were supposed to come on tonight, but they're not able to get on with us because of their health. Miss Shauna, she's one of the officers of the bookstore, and I don't want to go too deep into what's going on with Miss Shauna, but keep Miss Shauna lifted up in your prayers because she's sick tonight, as well as um, Miss Tia supposed to get on with us. She writes a romance novel. She expressed to me that she wasn't feeling it, so we definitely want to keep these ladies lifted up in prayer because there's so much stuff going on right now.
Mhm.
So what I would like to do is bring on. Let's take a break. Let's do that. Let's take a break to be able to hear about a few things. I will be in Minneapolis this January 15th, and I'm super excited about it. As it get closer and closer, I get more and more excited about it. If you're in the Minneapolis area, or should actually, fly out to Minneapolis, or if you're gonna be in the area anyway, definitely you want to check out this Martin Luther King celebration that they're gonna be having there. This platform is a platform to help black-owned businesses out and get an understanding and be able to close the wealth gap in America, with how others are living in poverty and all those kind of things. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about that.
The BLB Rewards Club MLK Now celebration is taking place January the 15th, 2022 at the Minneapolis Convention Center, joined by guest speakers such as Dr. Umar Johnson and more. Admission is free, so bring the whole family. Sponsor packages are still available. Vendor booths starting at $125.
All righty, all righty. And we are actually doing Instagram live as well. Hello out there, Instagram. Did you hear about what Miss Francine was talking about? She's an amazing young lady. So if you're going through something like that, please make sure you go to her website and get her book. This is the season of giving. Even if you're not going through something like that, somebody that's going through something like that, please go to her website. It's www.miss Francine, Houston, HOUSTON.com. Talks about the self care guide of somebody that's dealing with that particular malady of body, where the body basically attacks itself. Books are great gifts. So um, we're gonna go ahead and move to Miss Jacqueline Walker. Um, she is one of the authors in the bookstore, and I just absolutely adore this young lady. I love her book. I love about what she talks about, and the new book that she has that she's promoting. She wants to tell you more about that. So, without any further ado, we go ahead and open the floor up for Miss Jacqueline.
Hi, Tammy. Thank you. As Tammy said, my name is Jacqueline Walker, and I'm a motivational blogger, inspirational writer. I'm also by trade really a documentation manager and a certified professional technical communicator. The book that I'm promoting is A Season of Disruption. And this book is a memoir, and it's a family memoir. It's written in fictional form where the names have been changed, but it is a true story. And it is a story of perseverance and overcoming obstacles. And it really speaks to and recounts the time in the life of my family when tragedy struck and completely changed the course of our lives, or what we thought the course of our lives should be or was going to be. And the book actually follows multiple paths. It follows the path of a mother who is now has to find a way to seek a new life, a new future for her children in a foreign land. And then it follows the path of 5 children who are growing up alone by themselves, really under the guidance of a 15-year-old, and speaks to both paths, what they go through and how they try to work to come back together to reunite and actually build a successful future. So that really is the premise of my book. As I said, it is a memoir, a family memoir. It is available at the KRC bookstore. Tammy has it in stock. It is also available on Amazon.com. It is available at buyblackauthors.com as well. And for more information about, what I do, my blogs, I said I blogged for many years for the Everyday Power blog site. And I currently do blog on my own site, which is writingsbyjackie.com. So you can find my blogs there and more information about me there. So that again just kind of summarizes in my book, A Season of Disruption.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Miss Jacqueline, for
Sure.
sharing your gift with us, sharing this project with us. With writing this particular memoir, um, what brought you to the point of writing this, and why did you decide to disguise the names versus giving out those actual.
Well, what really drove me to write it was it became like the 50th anniversary of when this actual season actually happened for real in life, and it just going through the memories of it, and just kind of seeing it from a different lens. After all that time, and seeing opportunity actually for leaving a legacy for the next generation, giving them the details of that information to see how they came to really have the things they have, and what struggles others took from past generations to give them those gifts, so that they would have it for going forward. So that's kind of what propelled me to write it. I actually, when I changed the names, not so much out of disguise, because as I said, it's a family memoir, so it is my family. Um, I changed it more so because when I started writing it, I was just writing a story. And I wasn't really, even at the time when I actually first wrote the book, I didn't even stamp it a memoir. But then as others started reading the book, I had to acknowledge it's a memoir. I really put that out there. So that's more why. So it's, nothing beyond that. But as I said, the foundation of the story is true. All the events that happened are true. The only thing that's changed is names, and maybe the names of cities and towns, but everything that occurs is true. And as it takes you through the path of the triggering events, what happened, and then how both sides work through it, and it also actually gives an epilogue, so you kind of get a view of where people are today and how they have overcome.
That's amazing. With it being a memoir, and I think it's a beautiful thing because a lot of times that's what we don't realize, that books can be legacy. And I like to use the example of Think and Grow Rich. I feel like,
Hmm.
a lot of us have read Think and Grow Rich, but we don't realize that this is actual of a legacy from this young man who wrote this book. And he lived, years and years ago. And so his family kept this going, and it's a full foundation. And actually, because of the age of the book, you're able to take this book and use it, and kind of add to it, put different additions to it, different volumes, different variations to it. So this is a legacy, because his kids have created this foundation. They didn't just, he didn't just write this book, and then once he passed, the book died off. So that's definitely something
Right.
that we could pass on to our children. you
Hmm.
know um these different stories, and these memoirs, or even if it's something as a novel.
Yeah.
That's something that the kids can use. you know so
Sure.
that's definitely a way to show love.
Yes, it is. And it helps like inspire them themselves to see, if someone can overcome this, I can overcome anything that comes in my path. So it just, keeps them encouraged, motivated, and also encourages others, outside of the family, even to motivate them. I mean, encourage other people to say, hey, if this can be done, I can do it too. And I have it within me. I shouldn't be discouraged. By things that I see, because I have the power within me to overcome.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Miss Jacqueline, for sharing that with us. And definitely, like I said, books are great gifts. So you got the Christmas season here. Somebody who would enjoy a book like this, or even if you enjoy a book like this, gifts, are good for yourself. If you want to go out and buy yourself a gift, go ahead and buy yourself a gift and support Miss Jacqueline in her author walk and get that book today. It is on KRC's website, www.krc.com website, and I may not be the number one supporter, but I'm a supporter of Miss Jacqueline. So
Thank you, Tammy.
you are so welcome. Um, we're gonna take a moment out to kind of, do a real quick commercial, and then we're gonna come back and talk to Miss Honda about her book journey.
Hi guys, I'm Tavia with All Black Everything, and as you know, we talk a lot about normalizing buying black. So I just want to break that down as far as what it really means. So it's really a lifestyle adjustment. We want everything you do, everything you own to be black owned. So start small, replace your laundry detergent, your soap, your deodorant with a black owned product. There's plenty of places. You just have to take the initiative to look for it. And if you need help, any suggestions of any companies, hit up All Black Everything. We got you covered. You can follow us on IG or Facebook at All Black Everything.
I'm not exactly sure if it played, but that was telling a little bit about the event that I participate in first and third Friday of each month. It's called Black Fridays, and it's put on by All Black Everything. Black spelled BLAQ. Everything, not everything, everything. So we have business owners, black-owned business owners, come out and they showcase the talents, whether they're talking about their food, whether they do skincare, whether they do hair care, and all of that. And they actually, the vineyard that they have it at is called the Black Experience. It's a beauty supply place that has a nail shop that's in the back, and it's in the Southside area. And they host these events, and I've been doing the event for almost a year now. And I absolutely love the atmosphere. I love attending it. I love interacting and networking, and just looking for potential collaboration, potential um, um, networking opportunities with the black community, and be to support one another, because that's what this bookstore, that is what my mission, my vision is about, supporting the black community. I love everybody, but I have to support my people hands down. So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and open it up for Miss Tanya to talk about her book and tell us about what brought her to where she's at, and be to support her, love on her. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and shift gears over to talk to Miss Tanya.
Hello, everyone. My name, as she said, is Tanya Franklin. I've been writing for a little over 30 years, but I just became a published author in 2015. I just decided to just take that leap. And the book that I'm going to talk about is my first Christian fiction novel, Devil in Disguise. And it was actually, I was just writing it as a hobby. And I had a friend of mine to just kind of like read through it, just give me her feedback. And she was like, so when are you going to get this published? And I was like, I really wasn't thinking about getting it published. But I ended up getting the book published, and someone asked, like, what was the premise for me of writing the book? And I wanted to provide a different and more raw point of view of how hope and perseverance tends to help be able to manifest some of the things that we always pray for. We pray for deliverance and healing and those things, but we never really just have a raw look at the actual journey of how it gets from the prayer to the manifestation. And so in this book, you get a real raw look at a pastor who has had some past indiscretions, and he's on his way back to being restored, not only in his marriage but also in his faith. And in the process of that restoration, he gets tested, and he gets tested in a way that he really wasn't expecting to be tested. And in him being tested, he was so focused on being restored as a man of God that he ended up having to find out that he needed also some emotional restoration with some of the issues that he had with his immediate family, namely his father and his brother. And so in the midst of all of that, there are some cliffhangers that's in the story. A church member is murdered. Um, ends becomes the prime suspect. And so it's like, with all of his garbage and his baggage coming to the limelight, he has to balance that restoration as well as protecting his wife and helping to find out the truth. So it's a roller coaster novel, but the main theme is about how the perseverance and hope, it shows the journey, the in between of that prayer and the manifestation. You get to get a real look at what happens in the middle of that. And I just wanted to give my readers a real look of people that are Christians, that are saved, that know, we're not perfect, but we serve a perfect God. And as long as we are submitting ourselves to him, that throughout the journey, there is going to be there's going to be a manifestation at the end. So it was something that it took me a little over a year to write, because I kind of got discouraged with the book. And I had a friend that says, why, keep writing, keep writing. I want to find out the end. And um, someone asked me once before, they said, is any of this based on real life? And some of it is some experiences that I've witnessed. I've also, with all of the characters, the good characters and the not so good characters, I put some of my own personality in each one of the characters, to add to make the characters real and believable. Because how sometimes you get a book and, oh, there's always a happy ending, happy ever after, and I wanted to bring some reality to the faith walk, because sometimes it's not always a happy ending that we think that it should be. But the end goal is that the things that we pray for, the things that we seek God for, that in the end, we do become victorious. So that's pretty much what the book is about. I love writing. I have a degree in communications. So I'm a wordsmith. I love writing. I always have a whole lot of ideas jumbled in my brain. So I'm always, I'm always, just pouring out and just allowing the story to develop itself.
Okay, awesome, awesome. What kind of what genre would you categorize your books to be?
I write faith-based fiction, and I also do business development as well.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Tanya, for sharing that with us. Do you have a copy of your book?
I week before last, I sold the last copy. So I don't have a physical copy with me right now. And I meant to ask one of my friends, could I use one of their copies, and didn't get a chance to get it. But the book is available on Amazon, and it is available in the paperback as well as Kindle as well. So you can get it
Okay.
digital as well. You can also go to my website at imonibluebooks.com under the author spotlight section, and purchase the book from there as well.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Um, with your walk, I enjoy hearing different people's walks and how they got that to the place. Because I always tell people, it don't matter who you are. Everybody always has a story about what got you to that place. You know,
Hmm.
we go different twists and turns and take different paths, but what all that matters is if you get to that destination of getting
Right.
there. And sometimes along the way, we get those extra pushes, and you know, it's amazing how your friend had said something to you. You would even think about ever writing this, and she
Right.
said, when you going to publish this? You know, it took that courage and, you know, to kind of, you know, jog your brain and you be like, you know, I never thought about doing that, but I should. And then you took on excitement and you got there because anybody that writes books and are authors, they understand that it's, you know, steps you have to take to get there, you know,
Right.
and trips along the way, but ultimately you got there. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing the story and what got you to that place. Um, with and I think I asked everybody the same question because a lot of times, you know, we want people to feel some kind of way when they get done with their book. We want to tell them something because we're telling a story. As you told the story, how did it help you? How did it change you? You know, getting to this place and writing this story. Now you're on the other side of it.
Um, I would have to say I always evaluate the characters, and how I want people to not only just see the story and the place from the first time that you're introduced to the character to the last time that you see and hear the character. I always want to take a look at myself. It's reflective. What are some of the things, some of the areas that me personally that I'm struggling with or dealing with, you know, from where I started at this particular point to how I get here, what is the lesson? What is the growth point? And that's what I want the readers to get. I want them to look at the growth point, looking at how Pastor Ben starts out in the beginning, in his faith walk, versus at the end, in the last chapter, where he is, where his mindset is, what is his relationship with God after going through all of the stuff in between. So I want people that when they finish the book, I want them to be able to look at what is the growth point, you know you know and reflect it even with themselves. Where did I start? What was my thought process, at the beginning of the year versus now at the end of the year? What is the growth point? So that's really what I want the readers to get from the book is, how did I grow? And reflect over those things. It's amazing. We're in the season of Thanksgiving, where we're doing a lot of reflecting. And so it's like, I want people to reflect and say, wow, at the beginning, this was their thought process. This is how they handled situations versus now, because of that journey, this is the growth point. A lot of times we go through situations and circumstances, and we don't always react positively in regards to those circumstances, and we miss it. We miss the point of where we're supposed to grow. So I want people to be able that when they finish reading that the book and they close to that last page, it's like, what was the growth point? And I want them to be able to say, you know what, I got it.
Hey, awesome. I love it. I love it. Um, Thank you so much, Miss Tanya. And I tell people, how are they going to? Oh, I think we talked about. Are you in a space of doing speaking engagements? Because it sounds like you got some speaker, isms in there somewhere.
Yes, I am. I am available for speaking engagements as well.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And definitely, um, like I said, it's Christmas season. Get a gift for yourself. Books are great gifts. Books are great. So make sure you reach out this time, yeah, to get her book, to be able, if you know somebody that can relate to this, that resonates with them, definitely bless them with this book. I'm sure they will be very, very happy that you did so. So thank you so much, Miss Tanya.
Thank you.
All right. As you can see my hat. I don't know if you can see it. It says Prayer Babe. I'm an author as well. Like I stated earlier, and these are the two books that I have co-wrote in. This is Prayers of the Boss Babes, Volume 1. Well, no, excuse me, Volume 1. I get a look at directionally. I lose myself directionally in these cameras. So this is Volume 1. And then we have volume two, Prayers of the Boss Babes. The first one was just a basic. We talked about things that we went through. We talked about go-to scriptures and how it affects us and how things we want people to get from that particular scripture. And then a little bit more sophisticated with it. And we talked about caution. She does not pray fair. So that's volume two. So this is my Prayers of the Boss Babes hat. So I'm representing. My hair is not done under here. But thing to do is put a hat on with it. So, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and rock and roll on to Miss Yolanda. We got Miss Yolanda here, one of the authors in the bookstore. I'm just so excited about these ladies that's in this bookstore. These are some powerhouse ladies, and they make the bookstore look good. I'm just here. I'm just a messenger. What God told me to do. But these ladies make the bookstore look good. So I'm gonna show off this book right here. My introduction to Miss Yolanda, if she could tell us about what made her become the author and all the beautiful things she's doing, because she is a community service uh, um, powerhouse. She believes in community service. She believes in serving her community. She believes in doing the what is it, the drives in. She believes in putting her money where her mouth is. A lot of times, people will say things, all these good things you're supposed to do. Oh, I plan on doing all these wonderful things, but she is about working. So, without any further ado, I want to bring Miss Yolanda to the platform for us to, so she can grace us with her presence and talk about her book.
Hello, good evening, everybody. I'm Yolanda Macumbe. I am the author of Don't Forget Who God Is. It's a 52-week devotional, a very interactive devotional. It was birthed from me hitting a brick wall with my relationship with God. And I felt like there was something that I needed that I wasn't getting. And so I created it as a resource for other people who find themselves disconnected from God and really trying to, redefine who they are when they go through different positions. devotional. I still use it myself, which is, like my friends, they'll call or I'll call my friends and I'm like, hey, I need help with this. And they're like, well, what does your devotional say about it? Like, dang, that's why I wrote it, right? Um, so it's a really, really good resource to, just rediscover yourself, and rediscover your relationship with God and take that relationship to a new level. So in the book, it has, of course, like Bible verses. It has a devotional area where it has, like a little story, and then there's a affirmation for each week and a weekly challenge that you get to work through. And so it's spread out that way so that you're not forcing it, right? Like you're actually spending time with the material. And it's real. I really do love the devotional. It has launched me into all that God has for me in this season. So she talks about me being a community organizer. That I am doing. I stay busy in the community. In August, we had a backpack drive where we were able to help over 100 students here in North Carolina. I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina. And so we were able to help over 100 students, with backpack supplies, and everybody's going through so much with COVID, and it was really on my heart to do it, but I didn't realize that it was going to have the type of impact that it did. And then, I've been doing little stuff here and there. But then this weekend we're having a tour, and this is something that we can definitely bring to your local area. It's called Redefining Wellbeing as the Highest Form of Equity Tour. And we've been to Charlotte, Jacksonville, North Carolina, and our next stop is here in Greensboro. And that tour is really focused on, my area is economic development. So we talk about how to build up communities and capacity within communities to help people become economically resilient and build up financial security. So that's just a little bit about what I do. And my devotional really was kind of the catalyst to helping me just jump out there and not be afraid. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. And I know that we're supposed to be talking about what we're thankful for as well. I don't know if we've gotten to that point yet, but I'm extremely thankful just for the experiences I've been through. I was able to leave my full-time job that really wasn't good for me anymore earlier this year, and start my own business, and that has been really exciting for me as well. And like I said, the devotional was really the start of me believing in myself and believing in the capabilities that God has blessed me with, because the devotional was a thing that I did that wasn't tied to a job, it wasn't tied to school, it wasn't tied to motherhood, it wasn't tied to anything. It was just me and God. And so, that strengthening that relationship really helped to catapult me into where I am now and being able to serve in the capacity that I desire to serve in.
Definitely, definitely. Talk about a book, so make sure you go get that book. Um, it's amazing, and I like the fact that you said that some things that you're going through, and you would talk to somebody in regards to, and they turn around and tell you, what did you talk about? So often, we're able to, we get in a space, and sometimes we kind of, not necessarily get, but need somebody to remind us about, what God has told us. And it's something He told you that was in the book. Somebody had to remind you that, hey, I already gave you the answer. And I'm sorry. Um, I don't know how much I actually was able to say, but I like the fact that you was able to go back and learn from what you wrote, that God had already gave you the answer to it, and some not necessarily for God, but it kind of slipped your mind. Somebody was able to remind you and really go back and get that answer. So that's a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Um, she is on the website www.krcbookstore.com. And use books that look like this. This is Miss Yolanda. Don't forget about who God is. That was a good topic. If I get to that book, don't forget about God. People don't read books. Sometimes it just kind of slips our mind. So thank you so much, Miss Yolanda, for taking the time out your busy schedule, dealing with the little one, be on with us, and share your story, and bless us with your presence. Um, what I want to go ahead and do is go ahead and move right on into our
Can you hear me now? Okay. Okay. Awesome. I do apologize. I didn't realize you couldn't hear me.
Yeah, I was typing in the chat. I don't know if you were able to see me or not. I saw you pointing towards my book, but I didn't hear anything you said about it. The sound went out.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and open the floor up to Miss Charity. She had traveled all the way from New Orleans back home, and she still, despite of traveling all the way back home, she got on the line with us, and I think that speaks volumes for her work ethics and how hard of a worker that she is. And I thank you so much, Miss Charity. So, without any further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and open the floor up to you so you can tell us about this wonderful book, as well as you can tell us about your other, because this is your second book, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So it's The Broken Preacher's Daughter. The Broken Preacher's Daughter is me, or should I say was me. I'm no longer in that broken state anymore. Praise God for that. But I once was. And so this was a book that God told me to write. I'm a preacher's kid on both sides. My father was a pastor in Louisiana, where I'm from. He passed away in 2008. My mother is still alive, and she's an ordained minister. So both of my parents were preachers. And it kind of talks about when my parents split up, when they separated and divorced, how my life kind of changed basically from the age of 6. And it talks about how, I kind of struggled with abandonment issues, because even after my father left, and this book is not to bash my dad, so I do want to say that I did have the utmost respect for him.
but it just talks about some of the trials and tribulations I went through from the age of 6 until my 30s. I'm now 42 years old. So the book is about most of my life, basically. And so talks about some of the relationships I've had with men, including my ex-husband. I am divorced. You know, it talks about some of the guys I've dated, looking for love in the wrong places, attracting men that were not good for me because I was in this broken state. Chasing love, even talks about how, you know, I've given men money to help pay their bills, like anything I could do I feel like, to keep that man, whether it was giving him my body sexually, things that I was raised not to do that I did anyway, because I felt like these were things I had to do to keep this man. So it's a lot of that. It also talks about how I was molested as a little girl from some family members. It talks about me having a baby out of wedlock. So it talks about a whole bunch of stuff. So I don't want to give everything away. You got to read the book to see what it's all about. But it basically talks about a preacher's kid being broken and what led to her brokenness. So that's it.
Well, I know that, doing this book, because you clearly stated that, at one particular point in time you was broken, and now you're no longer broken. So it did allow you to heal, you know. And did it help you learn certain things and give clarity to certain things that happened to you in your life?
Yes, the book took me 10 months to write. And the reason it took so long is it was therapeutic. Like I said in other interviews I've had with you, Tammy, and there may be some new listeners who have never heard about me before, never heard about the book. I kind of feel like I'm repeating myself because I've said it so many times, but I know it's some people that may be logging in that have never heard me before. Are you in here twice, Tammy? Because I hear like some feedback, but I see you twice.
Yeah, my phone is dying on one end.
Okay, it's like some static. I don't know if people can hear me or not. But once you logged in the second time, I can't really hear myself like I could before. Can everybody else hear me? Okay. Um, I was Francine put there is an echo. Yeah, there was an echo. I don't hear the echo anymore. Um, I lost my train of thought after that happened. My memory is awful. What was I talking about? I'm old. I don't remember what I was just saying. Um, it went away. I guess it'll come back to me. But my book is on Amazon. It's also in Barnes and Nobles if you're interested in purchasing it. I think Tammy was asking me a question before she logged in for the second time, and whatever question she asked me, I lost it. Whatever I was trying to say.
Well, I was saying that when you was talking about it in the beginning, you
Oh,
said
about being
how.
therapeutic. Okay, now I remember. Yeah, I was saying, I was saying how the book took me 10 months to write because a lot of it is embarrassing. Some of my friends and family members didn't know anything about me being molested because that wasn't something I was wanting to share. There were things in the book that some people didn't know anything about that I've went through. Like, it's embarrassing to say that you were paying for a man's bills or that you were giving your body up to a man because you felt like that's what you had to do to keep him. That's not stuff that a woman is proud to tell or proud to say. But like I've said, the other interviews I've had with you, this was a book that God told me to write that I really fought against, because when he told me to write this book, I was like, I don't want to write it, because first it took me over $3,000 to publish it. So it's a lot of money to get it published. And then it tells a lot of dark, deep secrets that I didn't really want to share. And I don't know if you remember, Tammy, I was saying that I went to this conference in Dallas, Texas, the I Am Her tour. I don't know if anyone on here has ever heard of Dr. Felicia Cunningham. Her and her husband have a ministry out of Atlanta, Georgia, and they were on tour. And the closest, I live in Houston now, the closest city to Houston was Dallas, Texas, which is Dallas is 3 hours north of Houston. And so I went to the conference that weekend in Dallas. She didn't know me from Adam and Eve. I mean, I knew her, but through social media and seeing her like Facebook lives and her preaching on social media, but she didn't know me. And so when I went up for altar prayer at the end of the service, she said, God says there's a book that you need to write. And I already thought about writing a book, but was kind of fighting against it And I was like, this must really be God because she doesn't know me. How would she even know that I was thinking about writing a book? Because I had prayed for confirmation. Even after she told me that in 2017, I was like, okay, I'm still not going to write this book because I need a second confirmation because I really don't want to do it. And then a few months later, I had another minister out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, prophesy or tell me the same thing. And she said, there's a book inside of you that God is saying you need to write. And I was like, okay, this book needs to come out because I prayed for confirmation. I've had two ministers who don't know me say that I need to write this book. So I'm not going to ask for a third confirmation. Obviously, this is it. And so that's when I started to write the book. And the book came out in 2019.
I love it. I love the transparency because reverting back to where you felt like you needed to um, pay guys, and you're a beautiful young lady, so that could be anybody, that feels like they have to pay somebody to love them. And how dark place you have to be in to feel like you have to pay somebody to love you, that you're not enough. I love the
Right.
fact that you was transparent with that, because a lot of women wouldn't want to ever say that. Once they get out of that place, then they feel like,
Right.
okay, well, I'm out of it. Ain't no way I'm gonna repeat this. But it's somebody that's listening that has, been through that or going through that. And it
Right.
gives them, hope that, I can rise above. And I appreciate
Right.
and I love the transparency. Um, of you talking about the book, and how it blessed you, because like I said, a lot of times we write these books and we want people to read them, but how does it bless you? And it was therapeutic
Right.
for you, to be
Yes,
to write
ma'am.
this book and put this information out there, and to do it unapologetically, because we
Right.
have these, in our families, especially the Black families, these deep dark secrets that things happen, and it's swept up
Right.
under the rug. So
Right. And it happens more in the Christian community than people are aware.
mm,
And so I felt like it was a lot. I had a lot of preachers' kids who I don't know, because my email's in the back of the book if they want to contact me, that have emailed me or reached out to me on social media and said, man, I'm glad you told this story because I'm a preacher's kid that has gone through some of those things or other traumatic events. And as preachers' kids, sometimes we're looked at or we're put on a pedestal to be perfect because of who our parents are,
mm.
but we make mistakes too.
Yes, ma'am.
Were looked at under a microscope that she shouldn't do this because her mama is such and such, or her daddy is Reverend such and such, and she had a baby out of wedlock, or she divorced. Oh, but if it was anybody else whose parents was not in the ministry, they probably would be looked at as under a microscope as preachers' kids are. But sometimes we fall under the pressure of having to be perfect.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So
And
it's a
it
go ahead.
gives people a pass to be human.
Right. Yeah, the same thing as teachers' kids, because I think I've explained that to you before. I'm also I'm a fifth grade reading and writing teacher here in Houston, and I teach for a college also. I'm also a college professor. And so my daughter is in fourth grade at the school I teach at. So she has that microscope on her because of me, who her mom is. And she makes straight A's, but she feels that pressure. I don't put that pressure on her, but she feels that pressure to do well in school because of me, who her mom is. And so I know what that pressure was like as a preacher's kid to be perfect. So I always tell her, it's okay if you make a B. I'm not going to be mad at you. You don't have to put that pressure to make straight A's because of who I am. But
Yes,
I think teachers' kids and preachers' kids sometimes have some of the same expectations to be perfect.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, indeed. Well, thank you so much, Miss Charity,
Thank you.
for definitely, gracing us with your presence, because I know, that New Orleans drive can be, rough. Driving like that, period, for hours can be, rough on the
Yeah,
mind,
I'm just
body,
getting
and
home,
soul.
but I wanted to stick. I was like, what time I log in? Because I couldn't remember the time. But yeah, I'm just getting home from New Orleans, but I wanted to still log in.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you so much. Um,
You're welcome.
I want to tell everybody real quick about these boxes, and then we're gonna shift into what are you thankful for? Because I can remember when I was a kid growing up, we all sat around the table and we talked about, what are we thankful for? So, what better time is it to, talk about something that we're thankful for, in our lives? Because, you know, we're tremendously blessed. We're still on the other side of the ground, and um, you know, it's a lot of things to be grateful for. So without any further ado, um, KRC Bookstore has these subscription boxes. Um, these are for our children because my thing is, um, I want to spread the love of reading to the world, especially in our community. Reverting back to the Bible, my people perish due to the lack of knowledge. Where do you get knowledge from? You get it in a book. So, what better way is to start out early with our kids and give them a love for reading? These boxes are very sturdy. They can be repurposed. These are subscription boxes. They start at $29.99, and they can be packed with things such as a book, a T-shirt, backpacks, toys. It just really depends on the child's age and what the child's like is. So we want them to be customized. So they're good sized boxes. So, like I said, they can be repurposed. So, if you have a kid that, likes to have their cars, it's a good box to put the cars in. It's nice and sturdy. So, it's something that's long lasting, and they can utilize it and keep it as a souvenir. So, these are um, the boxes that KRC Bookstore provides. So they customized boxes that was made for us. Got all the information for the bookstore on there. So um, these are the boxes, and I was super excited to see them come, and super excited to talk about them, and all those kind of fun things. So let's go ahead and roll off into what are we thankful for. So we're gonna start with Miss Francine. Miss Francine, you mind sharing with us what are you thankful for in this season of ending the year out 2021, going into the year 2022? So what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful to be alive. I've been around friends that have been their life been cut short. I just had a funeral to go to. I'm 41. She's 41, and she has.
Okay, Miss Francine, I'm sure it definitely hit you a little differently because y'all were the same age. So um,
Yeah.
my condolences, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. Um, Miss Jacqueline, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for life, for just every day that I'm awake. I'm thankful for my friends and family. And just thankful that I have opportunity to be able to have opportunity to write a book and to get support from my community. I am really truly grateful.
All right. Miss Tanya, you mind sharing is what you're thankful for?
Like everyone else, I'm definitely thankful for life, preserving my health. I've experienced some challenges throughout this year, but I am so grateful that even in those challenges, that me having the peace of mind and knowing that it could be worse. And so I'm just thankful. I'm just really thankful. Other people that I know that are going through what I'm going through, they um I'm just grateful for health. I'm grateful for my family, for them being protected and covered even through this season, with the pandemic and all of that. I'm just really just grateful for that.
Awesome, awesome. Um, Miss Yolanda, what are you thankful for?
I am gonna say the same thing as everybody else. I'm so grateful for life and health as well. I too have had some health challenges this year with some physical pain, but I have my mind, and there's a time where I thought I was gonna lose my mind. So I'm gonna be grateful that I have that, and that my family is in good health, and our family circle hasn't been broken. Especially, I have a 3-year-old son. I'm grateful that he's taking a nap right now or sleep for the night. But I'm just really grateful that God has kept his hand on me and my family, and those I love. It's a blessing to be able to be here. In our right minds, especially, after being in COVID, we've been in a pandemic for like 2 years. So people are kind of slowly coming back to, what they sense as normalcy or creating a new normalcy. So I just thank God for just keeping us and just protecting us throughout these changes we've been going through.
All right. And Miss Charity, tell us what you're thankful for.
Like everyone else said, I'm thankful for life. I'm thankful for this baby-free week because my child is in Louisiana with her dad, Lafayette, and I deal with kids all day as a teacher and come home as a single mom to a daughter. So I'm grateful for this time to myself. Thank you, Jesus, for that. I'm thankful for the man I'm dating. He is so different than some of the other men I've dated that kind of broke my spirit. He's not a user or a taker. He's a giver, a guy I pray to God for. Ooh, child. Thankful for my health, my house, the fact that I have a job because I know a lot of people lost work in COVID. So I'm thankful for all of those things.
Yes, ma'am. I seen you, Miss Charity, all green and booed up, girl. Get it then, get it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I can see the happiness in your face. I definitely can, see it. And
Thank you.
you deserve it, baby. You deserve it. So
Thank you. Appreciate that.
um I am just thankful, like everybody else. I'm thankful for life. I'm thankful for health. I'm thankful for my children. I'm thankful for a roof over my head. I'm thankful for this platform. Um, I just absolutely, love the authors and I love their books and I love the platform and I just love what I do. You know, I love my taxes, but this is just something on a different level. This is it gives me um it feeds me, and it keeps me going. So I'm thankful for you ladies for getting on with me and sharing your stories. Please don't let this be the last time you share with us. um if anybody is interested, those are not in the bookstore, if you're interested in talking about having your book in the bookstore, I would love to have it. um I absolutely promise you, I will love that book and take care of that book like it's my book. I take very absolutely good care of them. They're double plastic in and away from the elements, and so I would be tremendously blessed to have you in the bookstore. Those who's out there listening, who's interested in having a book in the bookstore, being on this platform to be able to talk about their books, please make sure you go to these ladies' websites and check them out. Um, bless them, support them. We all need it. Whether you're a business owner, I'm a big advocate on support begin support. And what that means, it means if you want to be supported, you have to be supportive. And it doesn't matter if you're a business owner, it doesn't matter what field you're in. At some point in time, you're going to be looking for support. And if you put the support out there, I promise you it'll come back. Um, if you bless others, the blessings will come back to you, how many ever folds. So, thank you so much, ladies, for getting on with me. If anybody would like to, end out with a final note before we close the night out, we would love to hear from you. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I guess we said what all need to be said, and um, I will make sure that your websites are put, pinned in, so people can be able to see, be able to, go to your websites and support you, um, and be blessed by your books. Because I know they will tremendously bless you, whether you're going through lupus, whether you're going through some kind of trial or tribulation, whether you're a pastor's daughter, whether you get to the point where you just forgot who God is and need some reminding, um, dealing with, a season of destruction. So, wherever you at with your life, or know somebody that's in that position in their life, be a blessing to them, because I promise you that blessing will come back to you. So we're gonna go ahead and close the night out. Thank you, ladies, again. Um, and I just want to thank you. Everybody be blessed. Be safe out there. Please make sure you keep Miss Shanna in your prayers, and make sure you keep Miss Tia in your prayers. Both of these ladies were supposed to be on with us, and they're not. They're under the weather. So say a prayer for them before you get off, or fold your hands up, say a quick prayer in the mighty name of Jesus, and thank you, ladies.